Hello, fellow fantasy sports fans. Welcome to MFSN The Hub's Fantasy Basketball Waiver Wire Show. Every week, Thursdays, 4:45 p.m. Eastern, 1:45 p.m. Pacific. I'm here as always with Casey Vlad to the Bone Scheinvold and Ross the Boss.
Hey, everybody. I'm Ross the Boss, and I want to talk waiver wire NBA basketball with you, cowboy. Wow, a lot of injuries going on in the NBA, guys. Let's start with the latest one. Lonzo Ball, 4 to 6 weeks. He's out. What do you guys think?
I think it's bad.
Yeah,
how's that for analysis?
He's probably
sad. I'm shuffling my order right now. I'm putting a Bulls guard up there in my ratings. I mean, for my pickups, it's unbelievable. Another big one is, our cover guy is Jonathan Kuminga, and Kuminga, thanks. And Draymond Green is out for Golden State for could be another week. So we'll talk about that too. But there's a lot of injury bug going on in the NBA, a lot of COVID protocols, a lot of stuff going on. And we'll cover all that today and more with Fantasy Basketball Waiver Wire Week 14.
I love it, Ross. And I do like that you're highlighting this because, look, it's that point in the season. This is kind of the grind. And we get into these situations where if you've checked out even at all, you could end up losing a week like 9-0. If you check out right now, you could lose your whole season, and you've got to pay attention to these injuries because that's a big change. Lonzo Ball being out for 6 weeks. I mean, I have Damien Lillard. That happened a couple weeks ago that he was out. Do I even hold on to him? You look at the schedule and you see when are they supposed to be back. But
I was looking at that today, and he's out. They say now 5 to 6 weeks. So that being said, I would probably put him in reserve and not waive him.
I think unless you really don't have room on your team and you've got a really stacked team, you hold on to a guy with that level of talent because by the time I hit the playoffs, he should be back. Lonzo Ball's time frame should also be that he'll be back for the playoffs, right?
Yes, he'll be back for the fantasy basketball playoffs. We're talking about, not the regular.
That's
NBA
right.
playoffs.
On this show we don't care too. I mean, we care about the playoffs, but we're here to tell
playoffs.
You playoffs.
Playoffs. We're talking about fantasy NBA playoffs, and yes, both players should be back for fantasy basketball playoffs.
Okay, so let's talk about players that are 60% and under in their rostership. That's on Yahoo. That's our rule for people that we recommend to pick up. Casey, I hate to put you on the spot. Casey's fought through some major things today. He got bit by a dog.
It's been an emotional day.
It has been.
Tell the story real quick, and then we'll get into it.
Let's do it. It has to be done.
All right. Well, I was getting my hair cut. Thank you very much. And while I'm waiting to go inside, I see a 10-year-old girl walking her dog. All of a sudden, the dog just takes off, breaks the leash, and takes off. Me trying to be the good Samaritan offers to help her go get the dog, find the dog. So we find it. I'm trying to hold it while she is trying to get a harness on it. And strange guy holding the leash. I'm restraining a pit bull. The pit bull decides that it doesn't like it. So it turns its head, snaps, and bites me. So now I've spent 3.5 hours in the emergency room getting injections and treatments and stitches and stuff. So, but now, not enough to keep me from coming.
See a stray dog run away, don't help. Just
that's right. It's good to help people, but in that situation, be careful. And just for context, once in grad school, I bit Casey. Also, it happens. I'm kidding. Bad. That did not happen.
It was bad.
That's a whole nother story, guys.
That's a whole nother story. Okay, guys, let's get to guards that you want to own, Casey. I am going to start with you just because I want to see what will happen if we start.
Well, obviously, I've been talking about this guy for a couple weeks now. With the Lonzo Ball news, it becomes even more pronounced. I don't know if Kobe White is still 60% or less.
He is.
55%.
Okay, so that's got to be number one, I think. And the second one is Ayo Desanmu, who is another backup point guard there in Chicago, who's been actually playing great and getting minutes in the last, I'm looking here, the last 7 days, playing 37 minutes a game in 4 games. So we're not talking a 1-game sample. We're talking in a 4-game week, 37 minutes a game, averaging over 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. That's a pretty well-rounded number for somebody who's a point guard and is getting a lot of minutes. So that's the other. I think either of those are obviously going to be very helpful while Lonzo Ball is out.
And listen, especially when you see somebody like Lonzo Ball's out for 5 to 6 weeks, these are not they're not really short-term replacements. This can make a huge difference in your season.
I mean, he can carry you and help you for 5 separate weeks. That's pretty impressive.
I mean, Kobe White is fantasy waiver wire gold right now. And I like your other pick too, but Kobe White obviously would be the preferred pickup as you already noted. Ross, who do you got?
So this one player who plays for the Detroit Pistons, his name's Corey Joseph. And you're saying, Ross, you're picking a Piston. Yeah, the Detroit Pistons have been getting blown out.
So I'm with you. Yep.
I mean, they've been getting blown out. I mean, almost every game they play. They're not a good team. But Corey Joseph, 27 minutes a game the past 2 weeks. He's been averaging around 12 points a game, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. He's doing the job as the point guard in Detroit. And he's not like missing time because they're getting blown out. If they're down by 30, he's out there. If they're tied up, he's out there. So Corey Joseph, for me, I know it's a bad team. I know you don't want to watch Detroit play and ruin on your player, but for me, just for the playing time and the assists and the points and everything else, I think he's a really good pickup right now today.
I agree with you, and I do want to highlight this idea that you just said, which is it doesn't matter if the team's getting blown out. It matters if the player is playing. So the fact that they're getting blown out doesn't matter as long as Corey Joseph is still out there.
Well, they're getting blown out by like 30, 40 points.
I mean, look, if the player's still out there, you could argue his value goes up because he'll just start, playing like a wild man, and you'll get those offensive stats a lot of the time. So here's a guy that I've always liked. I always talk him up. You guys have been very familiar with this. I haven't talked him up much this season because he hasn't had that great a season. But Justin Holiday is starting to come around. In the last 2 weeks, he's the 37th ranked overall player. He's only 42% owned. And the reason I like him now, especially, for some reason, he was not stealing the ball. If Justin Holiday's not stealing the ball, he's not the player that he once was. Now, is he a total difference maker? No. But he's a back-end guy that he's not one of these back-end guys that I tend to cut. Once he's on a roll, I stick with him. He's the guy that can produce steady value. He's got good shooting percentages, especially from the line, shoots threes, steals the ball. He scores a decent amount. It's not great, but if you need steals, Justin Holiday is a great way to go. Another guy that I really like that I've really stuck with is, we've talked about him many times, but I want to reassess him because with Kyrie Irving playing on the road, the question is Patty Mills still as valuable as he was? The numbers are showing that he is. He's not really going anywhere. Guys, do you agree with this about Patty Mills?
With Irving playing, like you said, I don't have a good feeling in my mouth about him anymore. I liked him when Irving wasn't playing. I mean, trust me, I had him on my team.
But Ross, what do you say though about the fact that the numbers are still holding up?
I think mentally, if you're not playing the same consistently amount of time every game, and you play 30 minutes one game because you're in Brooklyn, and then you're away somewhere and you're playing 10 minutes. Mentally, it's a mess up in your mind. And Casey, you've been there before. I remember you used to play in these pickup games, and all of a sudden they say, "Okay, Casey, you're out." And you're not going to play the rest of the game. I mean, mentally, that messes you up, correct?
It does. When I was captain, I always had the right to play as many minutes. When somebody else had to pick me, I was always at the end of the bench. But Patty Mills, it's a tough call because of that. But you can look at Patty Mills' week coming up. Whether he has home games or away games. And if they have a week where they have 4 games and 2 or 3 of them are at home, then it's certainly worthwhile. He's somebody you keep at the end of your bench. And another thing with Justin Holiday, who I'm a fan of, and I agree with you, Dan, is he qualifies at shooting guard and small forward. And I think that's important to point out.
We love that.
You can play him at guard, you can play him at shooting guard, you can play him at small forward or forward. And so he can play 4 different positions. So the flexibility just increases his value that
Flexibility, that's the key word. Flexibility, and that's the key thing in the NBA. Let's talk about a big trade alert. Sound the alarm, Courtney. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Trade alert. Bryant Forbes has been traded from San Antonio to Denver. He's going to make his first appearance this weekend, actually, for the Denver Nuggets. He's a point guard. He's been averaging 12 points a game. He's been doing really well for San Antonio with not that much playing time compared to other point guards. But if he gets the playing time that he deserves, because Murray, I don't know when he's coming back. I have no idea. But Forbes could, if he make him a key point guard in Denver, who's a really good team, really good, he can have a great impact on fantasy-wise. So I'm picking him up. I suggest you pick him up. Bryant Forbes, let's see what you can do.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Casey.
I was going to say, The only issue I have with that is they also have, what's his name? Facundo Campazzo, who's playing pretty well. And Monty Morris.
Time out. So the Italian guy who I can't pronounce, his stats
Facundo Campazzo.
He has not been playing much, about 2 or 3 minutes a game. Horrible. So obviously they have him on the bench. He's not going to be playing anymore. So forget about that guy.
And Monty Morris is playing almost 30 minutes a night.
There you go, Monty Morris. I agree.
All right, but Ross, you got to hear the point because Casey wasn't recommending Facundo Campazzo, but he was saying that with all those different players,
you kind of have to do that when you say.
Not sure. By the way, I got to go back to Patty Mills for a second because
Patty Mills, say it in an Irish accent.
Patty Mills.
You got to say Patty Mills if you're saying Facundo.
The Irish accent. I want the Irish accent every time you say.
Okay, so the reason I like Patty Mills, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, you said his minutes are down. They aren't. Let's listen to his minutes in January, okay? January, 32 minutes, 29 minutes, 35 minutes, 32, 39,
Are these home or away games? Are these
20,
home or away?
Half of them are away. Here's an away game, 31 minutes. He played an away game at Washington January 19th, just yesterday, 37 minutes, almost 38 minutes.
How many points?
He ended up with, let's see, hold on. He had 5 3-pointers. Yeah. Why is this not showing me the number of points? That's ridiculous.
That's okay.
Well, he had at least 15.
Taking shots then. With Irving in the lineup, he's taking shots, which is nice to hear.
He had 17 points.
Concerns me playing time with him right now. I don't know why with Irving playing on the same night. It's something I don't know.
See, to me, this is about how NBA teams are kind of addicted to offense. The idea of having Kyrie Irving and Patty Mills on the floor at the same time, it's totally fine. I think you're safe with Patty Mills. Anybody else from guards before we move on?
I would throw Houston Rockets. I know they're not a good team, but Eric Gordon has been very consistent scoring points. If you need somebody to score points on your team, Eric Gordon's not a bad pickup. He's been averaging the past 2 weeks 16 points a game, three rebounds, 3 assists. He's a point guy. He's not going to help you much in any other stats, but there you go.
No, I think it's a good pickup. I also still do like Amadou Diallo. We'll see. He could come crashing down in any minute, but that's okay. You own these guys to see how you can get a good week out of these guys or not, and go for it. Now, meanwhile, I want to bring a word to our sponsor. Kill Cliff has a new drink available now, the high-octane Killer Cliffsicle. That's high caffeine and high CBD, clean energy, B vitamins, electrolytes, and 0 sugar. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of drinks.
I got to try that. I haven't got that one yet.
Own it. Go to killcliff.com.
I will.
All right, guys, we're going to move to forwards now. And Ross, I'm going to start with you because you didn't get to start last time. I had to give it to Casey before because he had been bitten by a dog, which actually you should argue I shouldn't have started with him. So I apologize, Casey, at the same time. You're welcome, and I'm sorry. Ross, you got us started with forwards 60% and under.
So DeAndre Hunter for the Atlanta Hawks, past 2 weeks, 17 points a game, 3 rebounds, and averaging over 1 block a game also. He's been playing a lot of minutes. He's been looking great. I like the Atlanta Hawks when they're healthy. Clint Capella. He is still hurt. He sprained his ankle. He hasn't played in a week because I know that because he's on my team. So a lot of players are getting a lot more playing time. But Hunter, to me, he's the guy that he plays like 30 minutes a game, and he's under 50%. So I suggest you pick him up now if you need a good forward.
All right, I'm going to jump in for you, Casey. You weigh your options and you get ready. But I don't really understand what's happening with Brandon Clark. Over the past 2 weeks, he's the 21st best player. Yeah. And look, people go on streaks and stuff like this, but why is he only 42% owned?
Well, I can tell you why.
Tell me why.
Dylan Brooks, their small forward, whatever is shooting guard, whatever position he plays.
Shooting guard, small forward. Yep.
He's University of Oregon graduate. Of course, I know that. And he's been hurt. He hasn't been playing. So Clark's been taking his playing time. So he's been playing this guy. He's doing unbelievable. I'm going to pick him up as soon as we're done with this call because I know he's doing great. And he should be up there when it comes to forward pickups this week.
Well, let me just highlight something. Over the last 2 weeks, I said he's the 21st player overall. Do you know how many minutes he's doing that in? Just under 23 minutes.
I was going to guess 23, actually.
So this is a very good sign. I always want to see how do the minutes line up with the performance, and can those minutes continue, and can that performance continue? For him to put up that level of performance in 23 minutes, he's going to get at least 20 minutes. This is Brandon Carpenter.
They have another guy on that team, John Morant. Is he good? I never heard of him.
I've heard. We should ask
Triple
around.
J. Don't forget about Jaren Jackson Jr.
That's right. Triple J. So Brandon Clark for me is a no-brainer pickup.
That's a great one.
42% is just absurd. We've also got Amir Coffey of the Clippers. Now I want to check in. You're a Clippers fan, Ross. So give us the update on Coffey. How long is he going to be kind of in the rotation at this level?
Let me tell you something. Paul George, his elbow's not good. I mean, there was rumors he might miss the season. I sent that to you guys, and now he's going to be out for at least a few more weeks. And I think he's going to be getting 25, 30 minutes a game. I don't see them trading for other players. The Clippers are they're the number 8 seed, I think, in the West, so they're barely making the playoffs. And from a team that was supposed to be a contender beginning of the year, now they're be lucky to make the playoffs. Coffey's getting a lot of playing time. As I mentioned before, I love Terrence Mann also. He's another young small forward shooting guard that can play from Florida State. But Coffey's not a bad pickup. And I know Casey likes Hammerstein. What's that big center that you like for the Clippers? Hammerstein or Hummelstein?
Rogers and Hammerstein. They wrote a lot of famous musicals.
Very good musicals, yeah.
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein.
I had a friend named Himmelstein. That's what I said. So the Hartenstein just came back off injury. He's playing, but his minutes are very, very minimal. The Clippers are not a good team. So if you take Coffey, I don't recommend it. He's not consistent enough for me to have him on my team.
That being said, listen, if you look, it depends on the depth of your league. I mean, let's say you're playing in a 14-team league. You need to have Amir Coffey on your team. But if you're playing in a 12-team league, he's more borderline. You could try him out for a couple weeks and see if he keeps it up. He's getting over 30 minutes a game right now. If that keeps up, but I hear you. Another guy that I love. I'm sorry. I have to back that up. Beep, beep, beep. No, I don't love him. Okay. I just think he's a good pickup.
You like him a lot.
I don't even know if I like him a lot. Royce O'Neal is a good pickup.
Oh, I was going to guess Jay Crowder that you were going to say.
Royce O'Neal. He's shooting guard, small forward, and power forward. That flexibility does help. He's 35th overall over the last 2 weeks. We all know 2 weeks is kind of my sweet spot. I'm not saying that has
I do 2 weeks too, Dan. So that's a.
All right, I don't own it. Ross has that too.
No, but I'm just saying it's a good theory to have. I like the 2 weeks. I don't like the 1 week. I don't like the month. I like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and if I'm wondering how real is this 2 weeks, then I check out the 1 week and 1 month. But I start off at 2 weeks. So, Casey,
tell me. So let me just give you my opinion about Royce. Royce is a guy you take on your team that's not going to shoot much. He'll get a few rebounds. He'll do a few assists. But it's just like there's no flash there. You know what I mean? I mean, Utah has Mitchell. They have Gobert. They have your guy Whiteside. They have the flash. But O'Neal's a guy that just brings his lunchbox. He sits it down, and he's a consistent everyday player. But he's not going to do any flashes for you in stat-wise. But he's consistent.
All right, you're starting to make me think I do love this guy because that's my kind of guy. Because Justin Holidays of the world. Royce O'Neal, though, the reason I don't love him is he hasn't done it over and over like Justin Holiday has. Okay. So I'm not as sure about him. But I like a guy that I can scoop off the wire who's underrated for exactly that reason. People don't think that he's putting up huge numbers, so they're like, oh, I don't want this guy. Well, you can scoop him up, and he could be in your lineup the whole year and do a great job for you. Casey, who else are we missing at forward?
Well, I think the guy I mentioned, who I thought you were going to say, who's kind of like a Royce O'Neal type, is Jay Crowder in Phoenix. He's healthy again. He was hurt, I think, for a couple weeks ago. But, he's not going to wow you with anything, but he's going to get you almost double-digit points, almost double-digit rebounds. He'll throw in an assist and a steal a game. That's somebody and he's small forward, power forward. And is he center also? Or he's just small and power forward.
I own him too.
And so he's somebody kind of like Bryson. He does the little things. He does them well, and he does them consistently. And there's a lot to be said for predictability when it comes to fantasy. If you can plug somebody in and you know what he's going to do within a small range of numbers, That's really helpful for you. Another one who might not be quite as reliable, certainly with his offense, it kind of comes and goes, but his steals, his rebounds, his defensive numbers tend to be pretty good, is Chuma Okeke in Orlando. He's a power forward. He doesn't have position flexibility. He's only power forward, but he's a guy who's going to get you points and rebounds. He's going to get you a couple steals a game and a block here and there. He can shoot threes. He's averaging almost 3 a game in the last 2 weeks. So again, it's somebody who does the little things. He's not going to win you the league, but he certainly can help you on those days where your star player isn't playing and you want somebody to accumulate stats.
I like it. Now I'm going to, this pickup, this is like a category alert pickup, meaning there you go. Thank you. I appreciate the siren. We've got lots of sirens going on today.
That's true.
It's probably because Casey got bit by a dog. So
trauma.
This is a pickup that I would recommend based on certain categories. If you need steals and field goal percentage, Herbert Jones is a great pickup right now. He's putting up great percentages. He is shooting 60% from the field. Wow. He's actually shooting 80% from the line also.
Wow.
And he even gets there some. I mean, he's got, in the last 2 weeks, he's been to the line 20 times.
And he's putting up double-digit points.
So this is Herbert Jones, not Herbert Davis. Not Herbert Davis.
Not Herbert Davis.
This is Herbert Jones, and he plays for New Orleans.
That's right. It's not Herbert Davis. It's not Antonio Davis. It's not Sammy Davis Jr. It's not Eric Davis. It's not Glenn Davis. It's
Herbert Davis.
It's not Alvin Davis.
It's Glenn Big Baby Davis.
I love that guy.
That's a different Glenn. I'm thinking of the
LSU
Astros Glenn Davis.
Yeah.
There's so many Davises. It's not Davis Love III. I could keep on going as long as
great golfer.
So yes, I think Herbert Jones, not
Herbert Jones,
Davis is a good pickup. Anybody else?
Let's talk about our cover man.
We should do that.
Jonathan Kuminga,
but you already did talk.
Okay, so he's been taking the role of Draymond Green. Draymond Green is hurt.
Yeah.
So he's been averaging 17 points a game the past 2 weeks, 7 rebounds, and he's been playing like 30 minutes a game. Last week he had a 32-point game alone. So obviously he's shooting the ball a lot. He likes to run with Curry, and as long as Green's not playing, this guy's going to get a lot of playing time. He's a streaker, so don't say I'm going to pick him up and hold him for it. Don't hold him forever. Pay attention when Green comes back, because Green likes to play, and he'll play at least 30 minutes a game. But all being said, if he needs a guy for the short term, he should pick him up.
Yeah, and listen, don't shy away from these short-term pickups. They can win you weeks. It's good. And meanwhile, if you go look at his picture, he looks like he knows something we don't know. And that says to me you should pick him up.
What do you guys think of Terrence Davis in Sacramento? Did we talk?
Oh my God, another Davis.
Yes.
Ross, I'm going to defer to you first.
Terrence Davis. It's about playing time. Sacramento they have their core 5. Davis sometimes get the start, but I do like him, but he's not like one of the key scorers on that team. I like Buddy Hield, of course. I love Harrison Barnes on that team, and De'Aaron Fox is one of my favorite players in the league, University of Kentucky. I think he is just like a role player, but he does show signs of greatness once in a while. So,
well, and actually it's in the last 2. This is probably why Casey asked, because the last 2 games, he's played over 37 minutes and he's scored a lot of points.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, how many points did he score in the last game? It looks like he had
35 points.
35 points. So I've been watching
6
him.
6 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 7 threes.
That'll get you noticed. I don't know that
guys.
Exactly. I wouldn't trust the numbers, but
right. I'm not sure of him. That's why I asked.
I don't know. You can ride the wave. If you can drop somebody and pick them up, if there's somebody on your roster that you want to drop, try them. It's not a bad pickup.
Ross, with you saying that, it reminded me of the Jim Carrey skit, Ride the Snake. Ride the Snake. All right, go ahead and ride the snake. All right, guys, we're moving to centers. It's kind of the hardest position to fill, but as we made this point last week, you only need one of them generally. So actually, in some ways, it's easier to fill, even though there's not that many of them. You don't need as many of them. So let's start with you, Ross. Give me somebody 60% and under that you feel is a great pickup right now, or at least a solid pickup.
If he stays healthy, and he's healthy right now, he's been hurt a lot this season, and is DeMarcus Eldridge of Brooklyn.
That's exactly who I thought you were going to say.
So 14 past 2 weeks, 14 points a game, 4 rebounds. When he's healthy, he gets playing time. We know Durant's out, right? Case Durant's out for
however long. They don't even know.
I don't know, for weeks. So Eldridge is going to get a lot more playing time. He's going to get a lot more rebounds, obviously. And I think for the center position, he's one of my top pickups of the week.
I mean, he's been underrated all season. Yes, he's been injured, but if you have
injured, he's old, he's haggard, he almost quit. Listen, he came back. I mean, there's a whole story about.
Okay, but think about it this way: sometimes things like being old are an advantage. It's just like the Royce O'Neal factor. People are like, oh, he's old, I'm not going to pick him up. Well, okay, this is how I got Chris Paul for cheap for many, many years running now, because everybody's saying he's old. He's still very good.
You're right. But he had that heart condition. Remember, he retired, then he came back, and then, just a whole history of like giving up with this guy, But again, Brooklyn needs some big bodies, so he could fill the spot there.
He's my number one pickup at center, as far as I'm concerned, and I've held on to him all this time. Casey, who else would you like to see added?
Well, there's a younger guy in Atlanta, Onyeka Okongwu, who's playing now because Clint Capella's hurt. Who knows? I don't know when Capella's due back, but he's taken advantage of his time in getting not only points and rebounds, but he's averaging in the last 2 weeks, he's averaging almost 2 full blocks a game, which if we're talking about a category, that's a pretty important category, and that's to go with a steal a game as well, while shooting 80% from the field. So he's not a guy. I don't know what's going to happen to him, and Capella could come back this weekend for all I know and ruin it. So, but as we said, center is pretty thin, pretty shallow. So if you need somebody, you might take those guys and take flyers on them. So that would be another guy I would mention.
I think that's a good one to mention. It's funny because when you look at this list of centers, it's incredibly thin at this point. 60% and under that are actually available to be picked up. It's incredibly thin. Ross, who else you see?
I like Marvin Bagley the third, not Marvin Bagley.
I was going to ask the bag man.
Not Marvin Bagley the first, not Marvin Bagley the second, but Marvin Bagley the third.
And not Marvin Bagley the fourth. He's too young.
Is there a fourth? I didn't even hear about that.
No, I don't even know if there is.
I don't know. Is there a special announcement we're going to say that he's coming? No, he's not. But Marvin Bagley the third, Sacramento. We're talking about Sacramento a lot. Past 2 weeks, 14 points, 8 rebounds. He's been getting a lot of playing time in Sacramento. He's getting like 30 minutes a game. When he came into the league, he had a first-round draft pick. I mean, all this hype about this guy. And now he's finally healthy. And he's playing his game in Sacramento, which nobody cares about. But if you have him in fantasy, you will. I like Marvin Bagley. And I'm also going to say he's been hurt. He hasn't played in 2 weeks, but I like Hassan Whiteside. I know you make fun of him all the time because you.
No, I make fun of me. Make fun of me.
I know. But again, he's been getting playing time in Utah. He's been really playing a lot. And he's been scoring and rebounding and blocking shots. It's a good little mixture they have, him and Colbert in the middle. I like it, and he's been hurt. So if you pick him up, I think he comes back on the weekend. So it's not a bad pickup for the center position, Whiteside. For you.
Okay, I'm going to make 2 other recommendations. These are not great recommendations that I'm super excited about.
You like when you have to put it in context.
Who is it? Moving Bob?
If we work in the currency of trust, our fans listen to us. I can't say this is a great pickup and then they pick him up and he stinks. It's got to be as advertised. 2 guys that I do like though, depending on what you need. Maxie Klieber is a guy I always talk about. I'm going to talk about him again because he's got a unique skill set. He hits threes and he blocks shots.
He had 0 points last time he played, but keep going.
This is true, but I don't panic. I look at the overall numbers and what's happening. So I think he's a decent pickup. Ross hates it. Oh my God.
I panic. I'm a panic guy.
I'm a panic guy. I love it. The other guy. Now this is interesting. This will be interesting to see what happens with Ross because this is a Clipper. Serge Ibaka. There's a Serge Ibaka sighting here. He has 9 blocks in the last 2 weeks. So
I like Ibaka. It's just play. He never played. He's in there for like
Did you just
listen? He's only playing 16 minutes the last 2 weeks.
I mean,
he's still
Casey
ranked
Sheinfeld played more in his rec league than this guy.
I know, but still, look.
But I was playing against third graders.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
But the thing about him, he's not playing 16 minutes a game, and you want to put him on your pickup list.
Ross, you got to listen to this. He's ranked 101st overall, playing only 16 minutes a game. I told you it wasn't a great pickup. But if you need somebody and he's playing in the right games, I would try him out for a week, because if his minutes go up, I mean, Paul George is out. You don't know what's going to happen.
How about this? I'll give you a prediction on him. I say he gets traded before the All-Star break.
Well, couldn't that be good for him?
Paul George?
Yes. Yes. There's going to be a lot of trades, and I think he'll be on a lot of people's lists because, like you said, he blocks shots and he rebounds, and so that'll be
good for him, right? So get ahead of the curve, pick him up.
Yeah.
I also think you could pick up. He's only owned in 34% of the leagues. I know he's hurt right now, but Nicholas Claxton in Brooklyn. We've talked about LaMarcus Aldridge. We've talked about, what was it, Dwayne? What was his name? Dwayne Sharp. But I think when Claxton comes back, he's going to get his minutes back. And this is a guy who was playing really well before he got hurt.
No, this guy
with Durant out, even when Claxton comes back, there's going to be enough opportunities with Harden and Kyrie Irving shooting to get a lot of rebounds and put back points.
And Claxton, he can jump out of the building. I mean, this guy's he's only
34% owned. So if you have space on your roster, either at an injury spot or just at the bottom of your roster, I think Claxton's a good one to pick up and keep.
Well, I think that's good. I'm just going to note one. I'm going to note one guy because I don't understand what's happening here. I'm looking at the numbers. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Okay, I'll tell you why. Go.
Okay, this guy's name, he plays with the Miami Heat. His name is Omer Yurtseven.
Okay, so let me just tell you what's going on with him.
What?
So Bam came back. Came back this week. Yurtseven played 0 minutes when Bam came back.
Yes, he played 7 seconds.
Yurtseven's done. He's not playing anymore. It's over. Goodbye.
No, I know that. Okay, hold on. But I just want you to look at the rebounds and tell me, did Yahoo make a mistake? No. Or what's going on? Because
Casey talked about him last week, and that's
I wasn't
back. Bam is back, and he's back.
All right, I somehow missed that last week, but it's still his numbers are insane and insanely weird to look at. Do not pick him up.
You got to talk to the coach of Miami and tell him to play him, because it made a lot of Twitter news that he didn't play at all, and they showed his stats for the past 2 weeks, and the fans of the Heat don't understand why he's not playing either. So you're not the only guy.
I don't have a direct pipeline to Spo, but I'll see what I can do. But I just love the name, and I just love the stats.
Casey was all over it, and I knew when Bam came back, I knew that this would happen. And
certain players are gonna wash out.
Everybody dropped him. I mean, everybody and their mother dropped him when Bam played 35 minutes and he played 0 minutes. Yes,
that's right. Okay. Anybody else we need to cover? We're trying to make recommendations for
Jamal
McGee
at Phoenix. Aiton has been hurt. McGee's going to start center tonight. Actually, it's not a bad pickup. Trey Lyles of Detroit. He's a power forward center. He's been picking up good numbers, rebounds, and points. He's been getting playing time. Those are 2 good center positions. If you need to fill the spot, that can help you in the next couple weeks.
All right, I do have one more question, one player to just bring up. I'm not really looking to pick up Thomas Bryant of the Wizards, but he's put up some big numbers in the past. He's just not playing the minutes yet. Are they just easing him in? What's happening with this?
Playing time rotation. I mean, they just have other guys that get playing time. He's been
right, and he just may not work his way back into favor again.
You never know. The Wizards are going to do a lot of trading before the deadline's done. I think Kuzma, who plays for them, is going to be traded. I feel they'll probably trade a lot of the players that are performing really well because they'll get draft picks, and that's what they're looking for.
Ross, when is the trade deadline?
I was just looking it up. It is February 10th. That's a Thursday, by the way, so we'll be here to talk about the ramifications.
It's going to be crazy. I think Westbrook for the Lakers is going to be traded too. People in LA.
Take that guy.
Westbrook.
God.
I have him on my team too. Westbrook is really unhappy. The Lakers are going to fire their coach. Vogel's going to be gone because you can't blame LeBron. God forbid you blame LeBron. So the Lakers lost to one of the worst teams, Indiana, like last night at home, which is totally embarrassing. So you'll see some trades with the Lakers. You'll see a lot of teams going to be trading away. We'll see. It'd be kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's really important then to watch that stuff so that you can be the first to pick up the people who benefit from the trade because playing time opens up. So
that's what I do. And guys, I have Westbrook. If you guys want to trade me somebody on your team for Westbrook, I'll listen to your trades.
Oh, I'll have to take a look and see who I want to throw away. I'm kidding. All right, guys, this has been a pleasure as always. Guys, put your comments in the chat. We do want to hear from you. We love to talk fantasy sports with you. We can't wait to continue all of these talks. The next couple of weeks are going to be really exciting with the trade deadline coming up, and we will keep you posted. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next week, Thursdays, 4:45 p.m. Eastern, 1:45 p.m. Pacific. Thanks so much.
Hey everyone, Castle Master here, overload of knowledge and part-time customer service rep for Killcliff. Wanted to announce my new Killcliff Octane CBD flavor, Killer Cliff Sickle. Yeah, that's right, it's orange and vanilla yumminess. Whoa! I know your drink hole is gonna be happy because I know everything. Just go to killcliff.com and get yours today.